I'm Albert Sherwood, and this is the story of my life through transition, like on YouTube in the olden days of YouTube. Well, anyway, I was born in the year 2000, right on the millennium. I was born to my mother, who was a radioactive technician of some sort. I was never entirely sure what. And my father, who didn't really do much. When I was 2 years old, they figured out I wasn't going to grow any teeth. So I got this pair of dentures. I got my first pair of dentures at that age. I'll never forget it. I went to Flushing High School, and at that time, I got really into the newspaper. I was on the school paper, and it was in 2016, so Trump mania and stuff. So I was covering Trump, and they also covered this story, which I found was really interesting, that was about this girl at my school named Ammonia, and her, she was liked by the nerdy guys, but then but she didn't really like them. She was looking for this specific guy. I don't remember what his name was. And then there was this girl named, Cassine, and she was trying to get the nerdy guys away from Ammonia, but Ammonia didn't care because she wasn't looking for them. It was kind of funny. I graduated in 2018, and I went to Flushing Community College, or FCC as they call it, which is not to be confused with the freaking FCC. Nobody gets that now. It's almost 2080. So, but anyway, after 2 years in 2020, the economy was getting better. So I decided I was going to get a job as an auto detailer. And I left Flushing to go down to Arburg, Texas. Arburg, Texas was a city that had just been started by the Berg family, specifically Charlie McDonald Berg, which we'll get to him later. He's kind of an iffy suspect. And then, where was I? Right. I went to work as an auto detailer, and that's where I met Ground Chuck. Ground Chuck was this burly guy. He had a truck, and he came to my office. Well, it wasn't really an office, but he came to me and he said, "I've got these pieces of dirt lodged in the side of my truck, and I need the sides of my truck to be redone." And I said, you could pay thousands of dollars to get all the sides replaced, or I could just paint around the little things. I got an island motif. So he liked the island motif because it cost less. He liked the island motif because it was cheaper, and he liked it so much he called his little covered truck back Patrick's Rock. He just sat in it and made a little living room, and we joined the car mudging club. It was great, but the economy got worse again. Specifically, I lost my job to a printer that could print on the sides of cars. I think it was made by this company, Stardust. I hold no grudges against that company though, because there was an interesting thing that happened later. So I went in around the year 2028, I think. I was out of work for a while, and I went to this newspaper. So I was reading this magazine, and they said road rage translators, or they said roadside translators translate road rage on U.S.-Mexico border. And I thought, you know what? I think we got a key. So I went there. I said, you have to hire me. You have to hire someone to this job. Because you said this job existed. You know, ever since the time of Trump, it's been illegal to write this false news stories. Demonstratively false. So you're going to have to cover it up. You're going to have to hire me to translate road rage. And I did it. I translated road rage on the U.S.-Mexico border. And then and then one day I was yelling at this guy in Spanish. And he threw something at me. He threw a hamburger at me, actually. And I fell off the bridge. And I rolled down the hill. And then I was surrounded by these things. They're called uggins. The uggin said, let me do it in my best uggin voice. The uggin said, we will have to kill you, because if humans learn about our existence, we will be wiped off the face of the earth. And then we will, I don't know. I don't know. So they locked me up in this giant tree, and we were pinned against the tree. It was me and this other guy, and they were gonna have this giant dog come and kill us, but they didn't realize that I had dentures. See, I had this one pair of dentures since I was 14. They decided my teeth were never going to grow in. My adult teeth were never going to grow in either. So I should just get a big pair of dentures now, and I'll grow into them. I never did. They always fall out. That's why I'm not wearing them right now. Well, I took my dentures out, and I cut the vines that was being tied up in. I escaped. Me and the other guy escaped, and I kidnapped the Uggin King. This is a drawing of him, and she's got 4 noses, sharp teeth, big eyes, very long arms, short legs. He's wearing a diaper made out of pine needles. That's what he looked like. He's the size of a baby. This is life size. And I swore that I was gonna protect the world from Uggins, forever so forth. But that fell through too, because I went up to Lexington, Wisconsin. And I went up to Lexington, Wisconsin to LMIT, the university, and I sold the Uggin to the university, but then the Uggin escaped, so I was trying to chase after that Uggin for years. I never found him, but I raised my daughter up there, and Oh, yeah, I never mentioned Yeah. It's my wife. We met when I was doing the road rage translation. Uh, well, I'm gonna put this in the time capsule. I'm gonna put this in the time circle capsule. I'm not gonna give it to people in my own time. So what I'm gonna say is, I'm gonna be honest about this. I forgot what her real name is. I just call her Yeah. When she told me, she wanted our grandkids to call us Poppy and Yeah. I I said no because that's what we call each other. We don't want our grandkids, but it's really I couldn't switch at this point to her real name. I forgot, but anyway, after in the year 2050, some the owner of Stardust, Datton Risk, and and a member of the Berg family, Michael Greenberg, who was a brother of Charlie Mackberg and Michael Blueberg, were creating new cities. I would have retired back to New York, but New York was New York had been New York had been flooded in 2050, and because of that, luckily, the Bergs had been trying to create replacement New York. So Michael Blueberg created this normal New York-esque city further up the coast, or further up, from where the coast was now, where the coast is now in the late 21st century, and Michael Greenberg created this city in North Carolina called Greenberg, North Carolina. It's a super modern city. It's made with Stardust infrastructure. I've got it in my house. That's where I moved. I gave it away too soon, but I moved to Greenberg, and when I was there, there was this guy who was with the founders of the town. He was Michael. No, not Michael. Sean Schoen, and he convinced, and he saw me at the coffee shop, and Walter's coffee shop when I was checking out the city, and he basically he convinced me to stop this Ugin chasing madness, and I was kind of out of my hobby of in retirement, so Datton Risk came up and said, "You want to make a comedy for the Time Circle capsule? It goes back in time. Then we'll put it on YouTube in the past." I mean, that's pretty amazing. So he said, the Time Circle capsule is this time capsule that I had when I was little. I found it when I was 10. It was in a box, and it has the information about the future in it. So that is my life up to this point. Now I can look in the time capsule beyond this point, but that should go in a separate video.